So he finally hit top 500 in Marvel Rivals very briefly at Grandmaster 1, and Iron Fist is my most played hero, as well as I had a 70% win rate in Season 0. That didn't last that long, but it was kind of cool, so I thought, hey, let's main him, because even though I think he's really bad, I actually also think he's really good in some ways. This guy that I'm about to make is going to teach you why I think he's actually really good, even though he's also bad. You'll see what I mean. I also only play melee champions or heroes because I don't have good aim, so that's why I'm playing a melee champ like Iron Fist. The beginning will have some basic stuff, you know, explaining all the abilities, but we will get into the advanced stuff, bunny hopping, advanced combos, etc. Now let's get on with the guide. So first off, Iron Fist is a 4-star champion with a 50% damage boost in Season 0 and 1. He has a bunch of abilities, but once you understand what he actually does, he becomes kind of simple. So first off is going to be Iron Fist's auto attacks. Basically, he does a lot of punch combo, and his final strike is going to do a bunch of damage. When he's in the air, he kind of has a different combo where he does an vertical kickflip, but on the ground he does a big fist. And you'll notice that when you do the air combo, it has a different animation, but it does exactly the same damage. So you don't have to worry about doing ground combo and transitioning into an air combo. It's the same thing. Do not worry about it. Also, when you're in the air and you do an auto attack, you kind of float around, like a little weird, but yes, you do float around. I haven't really found any use for it, and I'll show you why later, but yes, you can float around. You can kind of hover. Yeah, that's kind of funny. But again, I haven't found any use for it, but you can do it if you want. Now, Iron Fist has a property on his auto attacks where when he goes up to a champion and then he gets close to it, and when you see this mark right here, he starts to auto lock onto them and just dash to them as much as possible. So as long as you have your cursor on the person, you'll just keep dashing to them with a limited distance, of course. If they get out of that distance, it doesn't dash anymore. But when you're in it, you can dash to them. And this is how Iron Fist is very sticky to opponents who don't really have any mobility and can't escape him. I will show you an advanced trick on how to bunny hop with Iron Fist later. With his auto attack, we have to get through all of his abilities and how we use them. Also, when you left click, it reduces the cooldown of your right click by about 0.5 seconds, around there. It could be less, but that is how you reduce the cooldown of your right click. So when you see your right click about to come off cooldown, you can go for an engage and just go right here. And then you'll have your right click a bit sooner than you anticipated. So you can time your engages if you know your right click is going to come down faster when you left click someone to death. Though for some reason, when you right click and then get the fists of super flurry, it doesn't reduce the cooldown. So make sure that you don't consider that when you're using right click into left click. Next up is going to be his right click, or the defense mechanism of him, where he can block every single ability. What this ability does is it converts damage into a shield, and then he also gets damage reduction. As you can see, I take 25 damage per bullet, but when I activate my right click, I'm taking only 18 damage. So if I'm taking 25 damage and then I all of a sudden take 18, that's about a 25% damage reduction, which is actually pretty big if you think about it. It might even be 30%, as 70% of 25 is actually 17.5, and if you round that up, that's 18. So it might be a 30% damage reduction. Also, after you right click, your left click becomes a flurry of punches that can damage a lot of tanks and do a bunch of damage over time. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but if you're playing Iron Fist, you usually will do this as your first time and keep resetting your left click, and it makes your DPS go down significantly. But instead of pressing and tapping left click, if you just hold your left click and keep in range with your enemy, it'll do a flurry of punches. The only time it'll reset your left click and make your champion stutter is if you go out of range, or if the enemy gets out of range. Although this technique is not really good on air units, as it doesn't constantly resets the combo. As you can see, it's not too much DPS, but it does do damage reduction, so sometimes you gotta do it when you're facing like an Iron Man or something. Otherwise, it's just better to use your left click regularly and just dash at them like that. For some reason, your property of your right click makes you go down. As you can see, there's like a weird levitation that pulls you down. This also has another technique that I'll show in the advanced part of the video, advanced tips and tricks, so make sure to look out for that. So usually when you use your right click, You want to use it for big techniques like Iron Man ult or Doctor Strange ult or Mantis Sleep or Luna Snowball. You just kind of have to predict that they're going to use it on you when you engage on them, so try and do that. It usually happens when they start looking at you. Next is going to be Iron Fist's left shift. This is a two-part combo. Basically what it does is you dash forward and then you do a swirling kick that hits everyone around you. Now this does have a property that when it collides with an enemy, it'll do the two-part damage instantly and stop your dash. And usually you want to use this ability like an execute, as it does more damage the lower the enemy is. As you see, execute that and does half damage to him, but when the enemy is full hit point, it only does 1/3. Remember to use it as an execute or an escape. Also do want to add that against 250 hit point targets, it'll execute them under 50%, but if you're facing Luna Snow, 275 health, it's like around 40%, so remember that. So usually some Iron Fists, when they come out of the base and they want to come and do a lot of movement, they like basically go like this and you don't get a lot of movement. But if you angle it like this, you get a lot more distance. So try and angle it a little bit higher and make sure you're kind of like gliding, floating on your way to wherever you're going. This can go in any direction, so if you want to go up, of course you cannot change the direction of the second one. It's going to be going the way you pointed it, but you can change the direction of the first dash. The second one, always do the swirling kick. It's got a big AoE, so it's kind of hard to miss. Also, because this is a third-person game, the hitbox when your cursor is in the middle, hitbox of enemies is bigger when you put your cursor to the right of them, as your hero is on the left side. So when I aim it like this, it'll hit. But if I aim it over here, I'll still hit him, but I won't collide with them. So if you can, try and put your cursor to the right of them, and you'll always dash into them. But of course, if you put it to the left like this, you will miss them. Also, if there's a wall nearby and you have bad aim, just hit the wall, because you'll hit everything around the wall that you dashed into. Alright, so next up is going to be your E ability, Harmony Recovery. What this does is it heals your hit point, and yeah, that's it. But it actually gives you an overshield up to 300. So usually what you want to do before you engage is you want to go and meditate. You can even float in the air and you'll just float. Say you're running from someone, around the corner someone, and you're trying to run behind them. You just meditate up here and they won't find you. Usually it's like a bigger wall and you can go to the ceiling, but kind of like a nifty idea to just meditate up here, and then yeah, you're floating and you're healing. They don't know where you went. You're good to go. I always thought it was a useless ability, like wow, where would I ever use this? But until I figured out how to use it, it's really good when you can't really find a health pack, you have to disengage, you're low in hit point. This is what makes Iron Fist kind of like a solo carry without any health pack or a healer needed. I also think the healing part grants you a small charge of ultimate. I did notice when I was getting hit by the bot, and whenever I'd heal, I would get more ultimate charge a little bit quicker. Or it could have been the Galactabot hitting me, but to be honest, I did notice that my ult charge did go a little faster when I was healing. It could give you ult charge, but it's also very minuscule. Usually I'll want to use this E just to get the 300 hit point after I do my full combo. I'm waiting on cooldowns, or I can't fight at the moment. Do it at the beginning of the game, before the game starts. You'll have 300 hit point. And when, of course, when you're just out of combat, like, you know, run around the wall, they're chasing you, just use it and you back to full health. Sometimes you can even out heal a low DPS support and just heal in front of their face, but usually that doesn't happen often. But it is an idea that I have done sometimes. Next up is going to be his triple jump. So basically he has 3 charges of a jump, and of course you can dash in all 4 directions. You can juke people by going up, right, down, left, you know, etc. Change the pattern, go down, go up. Usually when you see a target, you'll want to engage them from the air, so you just use your jumps to keep you airborne so they don't see you, and then you land on top of them and then fist them down. Or when you're fighting someone, you just want to get out and just, you know, you're getting chased down, a bunch of people are fighting you, just want to run out and get away from them. It can be used as an escape tool. 2 ways to do it: engage, escape. Basically think of it as a dash tool, and it's got some unique properties on the way it charges. So when you're in the air, it doesn't charge anything at all, but once you hit the ground, it starts to charge all the charges. Or if you hit a wall run, you can start charging all of them. And so usually what people will do is they'll wall run to get their charges back, and they'll have 3 more jumps, and then they can wall run again, and they'll have 1 or 2 jumps, and then they'll have a lot of mobility this way. Now this is very useful if you're a beginner or intermediate Iron Fist. But what I'm about to show you is the bunny hop Iron Fist technique. So basically, you actually move slower when you're just running like this. But if you jump, you'll notice you get a movement speed boost, and then you get slower when you land back on the ground. What people usually do is they'll jump like this to get some mobility, you know, maybe even roll run to get more movement speed. But there's a faster way to travel around the map. It's called bunny hopping, and it's a weird glitch thing. I don't know if they'll take it out. But basically what you do is when you're about to land on the ground, you auto attack, and you'll notice 2 things are happening. First, I'm keeping the movement speed, and I'm auto attacking. I'm keeping the movement speed, and you'll see the charges of my spacebar are coming back while I'm keeping the movement speed. For some reason, while I'm keeping the movement speed, game thinks you're on the ground. You're actually not. I think it's due to his floating ability with left click. You're keeping the movement speed of your left click or something. I don't know. It's basically canceling the left click and then keeping the movement speed. And then it's really weird, of course. Yes, I know. But this is the best way to travel around the map. That's all I know. It's the best way. Now, what I will say, you gotta be careful how to use it. Because if you only have 0 or 1 charge of it, can't do it, and then you'll just screw up the bunny hopping. So you'll actually need to have 2 charges or 1.5 charges, and you're good to go. Sometimes you can screw up, of course, like I just did there, but usually you want to have 2 charges of jump, and then you can just hop around. When you go up a ledge, it gets harder, so the intervals becomes a little different. So like you go like this, it's just as you land, and yeah, it's kind of hard when you go up the stairs. Yeah, it's really good on flat surfaces, but when you travel up the stairs, it gets a little tricky. Maybe you can do it. I don't care too much for going up the stairs. I'll just jump, and then yeah, it's fine. When you get Iron Fist movement, it's like really insane what you can do on how fast you can get to places. And yeah, it's fun. Like always bunny hop everywhere. Usually what I like to do is when I come on a base, I like to shift out like this, and I'll start bunny hopping to wherever I want to go. You know, and then I'll just like roll run or something, and then get to where I'm trying to go. I forgot to mention, but yes, he does have a passive where you can run horizontally on walls. The Iron Fist can basically wall run on anything. Sometimes it gets glitchy because some of the things are like not actually circles, or I guess I wouldn't say coded, but you get glitches sometimes. But essentially you want to wall run to get that movement speed if you don't have any dashes or space bars. And there are some corners where you can run like infinitely like this, but I'm not sure if they took it out, but I couldn't find a corner in the training mode where you just run infinitely and then you just stay there like Spider-Man and then wait for a flank. But usually you can do that. You just really need to climb something, and there's a short wall. You can just go like this, you know, just go like this. Now, Iron Fist has a snowball team fight mechanic. Essentially, when he takes down enemies, he absorbs their chi and gains bonus health. How much does he get? Well, he gets about 50 health. So if you ever think, hey, I'm about to die, but I can take one down with me, and the other person's low, you should probably go for it. I mean, you will get a 50 health back, and that could actually be game changing in terms of the team fight. So if you think you can take one out and then maybe take the other one out as well, it's heavily in your favor, as you do get 50 more hit point and you become more tanky. Now it's time to show you guys some Iron Fist combos. So usually what you want to do is, let's just say that guy, that Hulk looking robot, is like a Luna or support. Well, usually you want to dash into him, and then once you get onto him, you just kick his ass, stuff like that. Once they turn around at you, you want to right click, and whatever they throw at you, you get a shield so you can become more tanky, and you just beat them down. And at this point you decide, hey, this guy's low, or maybe he's not low, he's getting healed. If he's getting healed, you probably want to shift away. Of course, if you can take them down with your shift click and trade 1 for 1, or even get out with that sliver of health, it's really worth to go for it. So if you think they're really low, go for it. You didn't die, but you know, the reason why it's also worth to trade 1 for 1 with any type of champion or hero is because your mobility is way faster than anyone else in the game usually. So you will spawn faster technically than the enemy because of your bunny hopping, your shift, as you have very high mobility. Maybe only Spider-Man can get on the battlefield faster than you. You got to learn your damage to see if you can get away with these kind of things, and then if you can't execute them, you probably want to just jump away, heal up behind a wall, even want to shift out, you know. So yes, it's a very simple combo. You just jump into them and start beating them down, and the moment they turn on you, press right click to block whatever they have, especially their CC skills or whatever you think they have. If of course you're winning the fight, you don't actually need to right click, you can just kill them. Like, let's say you're just doing a cleanup, you definitely want to save that right click for a big ability. Like if the enemy is still holding your ultimates or something, you don't want to use your right click just to block like a measly pistol or something. No, it's like let's say it's a 6v4, there's no point in right clicking, you just hold it. Of course, if you're trying to clean up the tanks, what you want to actually do is use the right click on nothing, to be honest, or if you can get something out of it and just beat down that tank and hold left click. Remember the combo against tanks and just shredding them is to right click and then just beat them down, and you want to hold left click and of course stay with them. You want to walk with them. If you keep resetting like this, by pressing left click or spamming left click, you'll lose so much DPS. So just remember to hold left click even when you're doing this one. Don't tap it. You'll always want to hold left click. If you're doing it properly, it'll look probably something like this. When you're in base, it goes like this. But if you're just pressing left click, it'll look something like that. Guys, I totally forgot. We have to talk about his ultimate. So basically, his ultimate gives him a boost to his speed, damage, and attack range, delivering stronger punches while reducing the cooldown of Dragon's defense. That's right. When you use this, you get more damage. Your shift does more damage, but it doesn't go on cooldown that much. You can see it does a lot more damage. The range of his left click, the flurry of punches, gets higher, so you can do a lot more AoE damage. Also, when you use your ultimate, it resets the cooldown of your right click. The more punches you do, it doesn't actually reduce the cooldown of Dragon defense. Remember, this right click doesn't reduce the cooldown of your left click. So basically, when you're using your ultimate, you want to left click, and if you think you're taking damage, you just use right click. It's a 3-second cooldown, who cares? But it's the moment they turn their faces on you, that's when you want to use your right click. And of course, if they use ults or like Mantis ult, you probably want to use it more because they'll start focusing you and you make a big noise. Iron Fist also has a team ability with Luna Snow. It's a passive, so you don't have to do anything, but basically she gets an ice circle that heals allies while launching enemies away from her, or to peel backline divers as well. It's really good for that. Also want to add 3 more combos that I just learned. So the first one is, so you're coming out of the gate, you can basically do this where you just shift up in the air and then you kind of float down and then get a little nice meditation. So you're coming out of base out of a death, you get a very high tempo and some movement speed when you're meditating instead of meditating in base and then or in a spot. This way you can cover more ground, but that was actually a bad one, so you want to angle a little higher, so you go like this and you just kind of slide and you get some movement in there. The second thing I want to add is going to be his ultimate charge. So basically, before you ult, you want to get the damage reduction, and then your damage reduction will actually reset when you press Q, so you'll have it in the fight. So remember, if you do have your right click before you ult, which you probably should because you're in a position to flank, you probably should use your right click for the damage reduction, and then, you know, you'll have another right click off cooldown since your ultimate resets it, but it doesn't reset your shift. Remember that. Also, just learn and practice tool. You can actually do a advanced bunny hop. So basically you can shift and right click and get a huge bunny hop if you do it at the right time. It's actually really hard, so I'll try and get it right here. Oh, I did it my first try. So you can see you can get a little bunny hop there. So maybe you can do something like this. Let's say you're maybe engaging your opponent for some reason, but I don't know where you'd ever do this because your shift doesn't execute. So you could do something like that, but I think it's a bit useless. And also, when you transition from a bunny hop from base into, like, let's say this, doing this, it's probably more efficient to just bunny hop with the left click on the ground angle, because you just have more movement speed over a spread unit of time. But maybe if you're escaping, you really need to go fast, you can just go like this. Yeah. The only time I can see using it is when you're trying to clean up the enemy from getting away from you. The problem is when you use your right click, you can't bunny hop anymore. So if you really want to do it, like, you just kind of pause yourself, right? You can't bunny hop if you're doing this. You can bunny hop when you're doing this, just not this one. So I don't know when I'd ever use this combo, but it is out there. Very advanced Bunny Hop Iron Fist tutorial. You could technically use this. And instead of walking to wherever you want to go, you just use the wall run to get that movement speed, and then you have insane travel speed around the map. So if there's a nearby wall and you're trying to get somewhere, just use this technique. I also just discovered two new things with Iron Fist. Basically, with your shift, it doesn't hit this Galactabot bot, because think of it as a cone in front of you. But notice, if I turn to the left, it hits it. So the visual is circling around you, but it's actually a cone in front of you. I know it doesn't really make sense, but this kick won't hit, which I always thought it did. This kick will hit. Like, just turn around. So it's like a cone in front of you. It's not really behind you. Maybe it might be. So it does have a hitbox around you, but the wider hitbox is always going to be in front of you. Second thing I want to talk about is his wall run. So basically, if you hold W, you'll keep accelerating up the wall. If you don't hold anything, you won't accelerate up. Control how you're wall running by pressing W or not holding W. Here, I let go, and I hold up. So that's an interesting tech, and I always thought you just ran diagonally up the whole way. Alright, so this is going to be the commentary guide. We're going to be pointing out all our mistakes, what we do wrong and do good. This is a very older video. This will be the gameplay that we use. So basically here, I'm already doing something wrong. You should hide behind this door, and you want the enemy to kind of push forward. Here, yeah, you want to be around this corner, and you want the enemy to push forward. What I was thinking here was something stupid. Basically, I'm thinking, hey, maybe I can get a pick here and just 1v1 someone. I didn't actually expect anyone to come out here. And also, because this is a replay system, I didn't know Iron Man was here. You can just see him through the wall because of the replay. But I thought Psylocke was going to be there. And maybe I could fought her. But at this point, yeah, I found an Iron Man into me. I said, what the hell? I had to right click out. And here, you should actually shift. You see where my mouse is? Shift over here. And instead I shift over here. Okay, I got exiled. I don't know why I'm shifting here, to be honest. You should shift here. But again, this is an older gameplay. It's okay. I'll show you what should happen. I think, oh yeah, I remember. This is when I was tilted, so I kind of ran it down, then we get back crap. So here, I'm not really thinking, I'm just playing. I know I can 1v1 her, but she's actually very slippery. She has 2 dashes, so if you can't really find her, then it's bad. And she can actually 1v1 you and cut you, but if you get both her dashes out, you can actually 1v1 her. Here I just charge up my meditation. Now they're actually in a good position where you can engage as Iron Fist, because they're finally not at their spawn point and they can't run to it. So here we're going to find the supports. We find an isolated Psylocke who can't be healed by her support, but she went invisible, so we couldn't get her before she invised. Maybe that shift kick would have hit her, but she actually somehow got that way. Go on the Iron Man because he's easy. We right click once we're taking damage. Just go on the tank because we know we have to disengage afterwards. And the reason you see that I'm actually shifting away and then left clicking with my right click is because remember the levitation brings you to the ground. So you're actually harder to hit in a way if you jump and then like left click, you kind of blink. It's really hard to hit you, but only in your right click, left click form. You can't do it in your left click where you flow in the air. So here, I know my right click's coming. Get some there. I know I'm getting attacked, so I have to kind of kite around into their tanks. Right now, I'm just kind of hitting their tanks at the moment because they're very close to their spawn. I can't really do much. I see an Iron Man. He's trying to gun me down, but someone kills him, and then we go for the supports. Go for the Bruce because he is easy pickings, but he got his Bruce form. Then we have Luna ult, which I didn't notice until then. We find the Rocket Raccoon, kind of hard to kill, slippery and small hitbox. Going to go to Iron Man, but I do notice my team is kind of dead. We'll see if we can get him fast. I don't really like to shift into an Iron Man just because sometimes you can miss, but he's all airborne, right? But usually you have better aim. Like I said, I'm a melee player because I don't have good aim. I don't usually do it. Now here, I'm trying to find the supports. By the way, if you're against a Rocket Raccoon, you'll always want to try and find the recall, the revive. That way, they'll be down one more person, right? It's like you're killing someone for free. It's super OP. But again, for me, it's really hard to find it as it could be in their spawn, be somewhere. So I'm just going to go for their backline most of the time. When they start focusing me, that's when you can right click. This is where you analyze, do I go out or do I go back in? I do wish we had our POV because we don't actually know what's going on, but it seems like my team is losing the fight, so this is awkward, and I'm kind of waiting for my team to actually come back. So I'm just trying to find an isolated target. I see that, you know, they're getting to the last push, so I go for this. And I also do want to point out one mistake that I do where I don't know this combo, but to replay that, you'll notice that I still have my right click up, right? Remember what I said? You want to right click before you go into ultimate mode for your 30% damage reduction, which I didn't do. And now I don't have 30% damage reduction unless you use my right click, but you want to block something, obviously. So here, I have to block the Wolverine ult. I don't see anyone low. There it is. That's the person who was low. At the right click here, they didn't hit me, so I don't get a shield. So I actually do die there, but we did stall the point there. In my opinion, it's actually pretty good to go for that ult, because if they get it to the next point, you will basically kind of, you know, you want to stall them as much as you can on defense, and you want to, and time is your friend. So the more that time goes down and the more you stall the game, the better. Now, see here, I'm trying to look for a flank on their back line. When you're playing Iron Fist, always go for the back line. Usually the supports. Here, I actually should have, I actually think after I saw them get a really good Groot ult, I actually should have right-clicked immediately for more damage. Yeah, so like, I did shift in, which is good because I saw the big Groot ult, but I need to right-click there for the huge damage. Because if I get that, like, my DPS goes higher, right? But instead I left click for a bit, but we still got the kill. But in that scenario, just go into right click mode because you know the fight's basically over once you got a few kills. This Hulk is on me. You can't really 1v1 him, it's hard. So you have to kind of back out. That one I shouldn't shift it out, but I didn't know who was behind the Hulk. He might have, you know, they might have like a sniper. I'm gonna meditate here before going in. We're just waiting for our cooldowns in the bottom right, as you can see. And I'm gonna go call their backline, because I know my Storm is ulting in. They actually you know, counter ulted, and honestly you can't really do anything in this except build ult charge, or like, yeah, you can only build ult charge and kind of annoy them and harass them. What I should have done, and I'm not really thinking this game, but what you should do is go for that revive Raccoon, try and find it if you can. That's what you can do in this scenario when the game is kind of stalled by the what's her name ult, you know. Now here I just chose to basically get my ultimate charge, and now my team is fighting. So now I think Mantis ulted, so I noticed that and I decided, hey, let's get some ultimate charge here. Then I think I ran out or something. I'm not really getting healed. I'm gonna back out. My team dies, and yeah, I have to kind of get into a weird position to flank. This Wolverine says he wants to 1v1 me, so I take it, but then Hulk's coming, so we can't really take it. Actually, now he isolates himself, and we still have to get out. We're probably gonna die here. Yeah, it's really hard because they actually caught us out. We're hoping they actually kill the Wolverine, but I think he got healed. We might have got his passive, I'm not sure. We can go check. Oh, we did. That's why we committed to that fight. Yeah, so we thought maybe if he didn't have passive, we get, you know, nice kill. Wolverine ult, we see that. Our team is kind of losing. We have, it's our Luna ult. Yeah, it is. And we just killed the Wolverine. He has no thing. We use our meditate. We initiate. Go for him. Pretty sure I'm not ulting here because I think it's a lost fight. You still have shift. Unlucky. I don't really want to ult at low hit point. I'm going to meditate first and then go in. Like I said, you want to right click before you actually get engaged, right? And I think we get the point. No, I have to kill their backline. Yeah, so they get the point. I'm right here. My team died. I went for the cleanup. Honestly, going for their backline and DPS support, etc. I'm not sure which is better. I think it's better to go and kill their DPS support, but unfortunately I have to be the one to stay on the point. So I would say I think it's still worth it to go for the backline when you're ulting and stuff. in that certain scenario, it's just unfortunate, like no one could stay on point. Besides, I think our Storm tried to, so that was kind of bad. But I think I would still lose if our tanks, if I went for the tanks, right? It would just get healed. So here I find the Raccoon to get him. You know, this is like a one fight kind of. Actually, again, I'm so bad with this because I don't know who's ulting in replay, but yes, their cloak ulted. I noticed that. Back away. I should be meditating here. Oh, I should have been meditating here. I don't know why I wasn't. Yeah, I should have meditated there. There, I could have lived if I did. I don't know why I didn't. I think someone... I think I saw that she was low, right? So I tried to go for her. So I tried to sniper with my dash, but it didn't work. That was a little mistake, but... I'm back. Again, I'm not doing some of the moves like taught you guys, like the shift and E. That's because this is an older game. And here, go for the back line. He didn't hit me, so I die here. Yep. So if she had better aim, I would get the right click shield and she would die, but I was like, oh, maybe I'm dodging too much. So let's see here. Yep, my team is fighting. We're 6 up. We just got to pick so we can go in. Unfortunately, we couldn't get that. I tried to go in right click mode just to DPS it better. I should probably shift out very soon, yeah. I knew they were going to turn on me, but unfortunately, I was trying to find the health pack here. But if I shifted into there, like right in there, I would actually just kind of go in one direction and still be in sight of kill. We got 1 kill. This is good. We're stalling. I have my ult very soon. I'm trying to get out. And then now I can ult. Again, you should right click before you ult. Trying to go in their back line now because I don't want whatever's killing me. And then finally we can return onto their front line. I think we still lost. Yeah, there's a Wolverine. Again, I'm jumping also to make it harder for me to hit. So that's why I don't really want to just stay in the ground, right? And I jump out of that. That was weird. But yeah, I'm trying to jump on the ground. It's actually very hard. I'm trying to do as much as I can, but yeah, there's a hell on the ult. So it is what it is, but we do have a Storm, so game 2 it'll be easier. Yeah, always want to go for their supports back line. For the back line, go for the DPS support, and then you want to transition into hitting their tanks when you basically shift out, and you'll see that probably more here. Yeah, always try and go for that back line. And do the combos that I say, like, again, you want to shift and then press E to go back. I'm looking to see, I'm trying to get high ground. There it is. I know Rocket Raccoon exists, but get this first. Ignore everything. Piss off the Raccoon. Yes, piss off the Raccoon. Now we can go for their back line. Once they focus you. I notice my team's winning. I missed my shift. That's okay. He almost got me. I have to get out. I thought I had my right click. Again, your right click gravitates you down, so try and do that. Go for the Rocket Raccoon, piss him off, but it's actually bad. Never go for the Rocket Raccoon if you can choose out of healers. He's super hard to hit. You always want to go for the other healer, which is going to be Cloak. So try and do the Cloak instead of the Raccoon. It's like impossible. I don't know what's going on in my back line, so I don't know if we're winning that. I didn't know if I should commit. I could have committed onto the Wolverine. These Wolverines chasing me, but I don't care. I can win the 1v1, but I need to get in their back line to piss them off. There it is. I need to get this health pack here. I could have actually shifted to my team and made them actually heal me for ult charge, but I don't know if I'll get healed instantly, and I don't want to be in line of sight for enemies to kill me. So that's why here I need to go for the Wolverine because I don't want to go into Cloak and Dagger ult. Hitting whoever I can with Luna ult to get charge. I also want to mention that when you're in a Luna ult or support ult versus another support ult, don't use your right click, just left click them down, and when your Luna ult or whatever goes down, make sure to right click so you get that shield afterwards, right? You get more value out of that when you don't have any heals, and finally you'll get a 400 shield because everyone start focusing after Luna ult is down. So I made the mistake of right clicking just for more DPS, but I shouldn't have done that. as I should have actually got the alt charge, or sorry, the right click in the, you know, the shield. Now we just go in the back line so we can go for him, get more DPS, press the right click, meditate here. And I always sit on cart, but I didn't know the max was 4. I don't know what the max is, so I just learned recently it is 4. Here we go for the flank on this window. See what's up. We found the thing. Unfortunately, ooh, did I get out here? I shouldn't fight this at the moment because I think they're all focusing me. Again, I rotate up. This is a melee champ. Wolverine can't see me. I don't care what they're doing. Finally, we kill them all. We have to shift out. We have to shift out. We're like super low. I need to right click. There, we got it out. Like, this is a kind of a, in this situation, yeah, the ult, I should have right clicked before. I would actually not be in that situation, but I wasn't really getting heals. And I noticed I was in execution range from the Winter Soldier. So it feels bad that you have to not do DPS, but living is way better than dying. So I chose to do that. And also Winter Soldier wasted his ult on me because he didn't get a reset, right? So it actually negates both DPS ults. Now we go for, we can 1v1 the Wolverine. He's super easy. He's not a tank. Yeah. He did shift me into his team and stun me. Hey, good for him. You can 1v1 him, but when he gets you like that, can't win like that. Anyways, oh. Here I should have, in that scenario, you should always do shift into meditate and slide on the ground, which I taught you in the tutorial. But this is one of the older games where I didn't know you could do that. So again, I'm still learning a lot of new Iron Fist stuff, right? Here I want to actually block them from getting to our cart, but apparently no one is on our cart. It's a little awkward here. I have to shift. Oh, do I have to shift out? Apparently I had to. I thought we had a good damn, I thought we had a good Doctor Strange ult. I was about to get out and shift out, but my Strange, I think, got blocked by their Strange, and I didn't know that at the time. So my team's dead. At this point I need to set up a flank, get into position, find the Rocket Raccoon. I know Wolverine's right there. I completely ignored him. I don't care. Can't do anything to me, so I like whatever. And if you notice, the Rocket Raccoon actually did switch off because I was killing his revive so much, so he's getting 0 value out of that. Here I'm going on here. I notice I'm dying. Shift up into the air. Meditate. We need to see how this fight turns out. Go in. My right click's coming up. I didn't get anything out of that. They didn't right click me, so this is actually really bad. Okay, yeah, this Wolverine doesn't, I don't know. This Wolverine's funny. I don't know why he thinks he can 1v1 me, but you know, he dies. He's also wasting his time going on me. Like, it should be probably their Winter Soldier or supports or tanks, but they never do. Wolverine should be getting our range or stuff. Tried to one-shot her. She got Magneto ults, or shifting, whatever it's called. Bubble. We get out. We have our ults. We're not gonna, in this scenario, our Storm ulted, so we're not gonna, you know, double DPS out. We're waiting out the Luna ult and see if I can actually help her. But no, they just have too much healing. That's why I did this, to see if it was like kind of a limit test. See if I can get through this, the Luna ult, and Storm could maybe get them low and we can like nuke them, but it didn't work out like that. That was just more of a limit test to see. But yeah, in those scenarios, now that I know, just wait out the Luna ult and then ult behind them and then try and kill them. Now, no one's pushing the cart, so I'm kind of stuck here, waiting for my team to push it. And now we got some people in cart, so I can push up. I click that. I don't know how good the fight looks, so I have to go out. There's someone on the wall. And I'm looking for a flank with my ults. Do it. Looking for it. Oh, now my ult is negated, but I see a little pick who's not in the purple. What I'm trying to do is dodge DPS as I can, but They're just not taking damage. But we're not really losing this fight as well. I think we had a Manta Assault, so I didn't really care. Try to do as much damage as I can. Hit him. I get this Wolverine in our back line, and then go for the Magneto. Get the right click for the more DPS. Get on cart here. Doctor Strange did the thing. Now it's gonna be sudden death. Again, this is one of the sloppier gameplays. I'm not gonna lie, but my gameplay got better after doing the guide. I'm not gonna lie. Again, we're in a position to try and find a pick in this hallway. You know, keep it isolated in 1v1s. You win every 1v1. They finally have a Namor, I think. So here we go in the Squirrel Girl. She's the farthest in the back for her support to actually look at her. We went for a right click initially, but I'm gonna be honest, don't ever do that. And I can't get that through as well. Don't ever do the right click initially because, ooh, it'd be bad. It'd be very bad. Here we go for Namor. Get their attention. They finally all turn for me, but we actually kill them before we get in. I find this little thing. I can hold my shift. Now we can go back in, kill the cloak or whoever the support is. The combo, right click her, and then just punch her down. Punch this guy down, whoever's in range, and then that's it. Meditate here. Try and hold off this point here. Anyone who enters here will lose to you, or you can stall it. And now they're all, yep, they can't reach it, so they lose that. For the flank, you can actually go for that high ground as well, but I go for the flank. If you want to contest high ground, that's also good, right? Get their attention. House looking bad. Trying to go for her, but now you see I'm trying to dodge her shots by pressing left click. Now I go for a re-engage. My right click's coming up, hitting me, getting annoyed. Oh, I don't know where she is. Someone got her. Yep, and then basically all you're doing is distracting whoever the hell is trying to hit your front line. They all turn their attention to you because you're like super annoying. So you always are like a distraction and stuff when you go for the back line. You're drawing so much attention and opposing so much threat while you're on the flank. If you can get two people to chase you around, that's also really good. But anyways, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I actually did want to get a better gameplay in this, but for now, this is what it is. Thank you for watching. See you guys next time.